welcome to the Wealthy Lala show with myself, Laurie Laursen. It is episode 212. 212. How does it get any crazier than that? It's going to be a wild show. Okay, well, maybe not. But anyways, so I had told you in yesterday's show that I was going to share something with you guys that I created last week that was so cool. Okay. I hope I can gift you guys the ability, I hope you're able to perceive the energy of this situation because it was so fun. So a girlfriend of mine she used to be from Switzerland. So she came here when she was, I think, in her 20s. And her mom passed away just a couple weeks ago. And one thing I'm really good at, because when I started doing classes and I realized that I could ask questions about things, you'll hear people say, oh God, it's so hard to buy gifts for these people, and it's really hard to, I don't know what to get them. And one of the things I started doing was asking the universe to have my back in assisting me in knowing what would be the greatest contribution. So, because some people in my life, they would buy a lot for each other. And so if you were invited to their place, sometimes it would be challenging then, like, what do you get them? And it would feel like there was nothing left to get them. Okay. Now, with having more of an abundance perspective, I so know that that's not true anymore. And I also know that the universe will have my back. And what's really cool is sometimes it will be a gift card will be what's lightest. Sometimes it will be money is the lightest. And sometimes it will be a combination of a gift and money or a gift card or just a gift. So it's different. It's different each time. And I don't conclude. So I don't judge gift cards as bad. I don't judge gifts as good. Even we're going to a wedding this summer. And they have said we prefer cash gifts. They've been together for a long time. And I had an idea pop into my head the other day about something that I could gift them, and then I would give the difference in cash. And that is really fun for me. So I will go with what is light over necessarily whatever the rules or requests or expectations are now. And of course, I ask what's going to create greater, right? So anyways, this girlfriend of mine, I found out her mom had passed away. And what I like to do is usually gift something that's kind of special to that person. Sometimes I've given like a bird feeder to a cousin. I gifted her some angel cards that say messages from your loved ones because she's had both of her parents pass away. And on other people, I've, just given different things. Okay. Now, anyways, I found out that this girl, that her mom had passed away, and I was like, oh gosh, what do I want to get her? She's not really a trinket person. So what would I get her? Well, one day I'm scrolling through Facebook, and another friend of mine who owns a gardens and greenhouses, her ad popped up on my Facebook feed. And you have to know that I call it's like it pops. Okay. So it's like the ad popped at me. So she was sharing that they were selling fruit trees. And I thought, fruit trees? That's a great idea. I should get my girlfriend a fruit tree. She loves fruit. That'd be awesome. Okay. So, they said they started at like $30 and went up to, I think, 80, 90, 100 or whatever. And I thought, well, I'm going to go check these out. So a couple days later, I was able to go to the gardens and greenhouses. I pull up and I go in there and I'm looking at the fruit trees. And so the big ones, like the apples, plums, like the big trees, they were all around. Well, really, when it comes down to it, like the money per se was irrelevant, yet it was information. So sometimes I will choose something based on the money, but I'm aware that that's a part of the choice. Sometimes I will choose it because it's just really light and it won't matter. Like it could be $5, it could be $100. It will be what I get will create greater and what will be fun. Okay. And I trust that more now too. So even if it's a little upwards in a price that I would normally pay, if it's really, really light and I get it's going to create more, I will choose it. So anyways, I looked at these trees, and part of my choice in not choosing them was, oh, that's kind of a bit much. And I wonder too, though, okay, I'm going to facilitate myself here as I'm doing this. I wonder too if what I was actually aware of wasn't about the money, but that maybe those particular trees I wasn't going to get what would actually create greater. Maybe those trees wouldn't grow in their yard. Maybe, sometimes fruit trees get diseases. Maybe they had trees like that in their yard. Like, who knows? It doesn't always have to be about the money value, but it could be the fact that there was something about it that wasn't actually light. And then they had smaller ones that were like $30 and stuff like that. And I'm looking around at them, and they're things like gooseberries and um, some kind of, I don't know, is it an elderberry or something? And I was like, nah, those don't seem fun. I'm like, okay, well, one thing I know for sure is that it was really super light to come here, so I'm gonna trust. So I guess I'll go into the greenhouses and go check it out because these other fruit trees were outside. So I go into one of the greenhouses and I'm looking, and just seeing things like perennials and annuals and stuff like that. And this lady comes up to me and she says, "Oh, can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I'm actually looking for something for a girlfriend. Her mom passed away, and I was going to get her a fruit tree, but I don't think I don't know. I just didn't see anything that sort of resonated with me." And she's like, "Oh, well, what do you think of these trees?" And I said, "Well, what are they?" She said, "They're fig trees." I said, "A fig tree? I've never heard of a fig tree." Well, I mean, I've heard of figs, but I don't know anything about them. I don't know how they're grown, where they're grown, what's their climate, anything like that, right? So I look at this tree, these little trees, they're about 2 feet tall in these containers, and there was something really light about it. And so she says to me, "Well, this is how you plant them. You put them in a pot, and they do need to be brought in the wintertime. So it can't be a tree that you plant out in their yard." And I'm not kidding. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, why do I want to give somebody a gift that's going to require work? Because I was thinking, you plant the tree outside, the tree lives in the conditions, it's made for the conditions, but here's something that's not made for our Alberta conditions. And but it was so light, and I could tell it was fun. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed one. She even showed me a couple that were like about 5 or 6 feet tall that were in their own pot. And I thought, okay, well, one thing that was important to me was to put it in its own pot, like when I went to gift it to my friend. So I pay for it and I leave and I get it home, and, I repot it. And then as I do, as I say, okay, universe, let me know when it creates greatest to go and gift this, like when I should take it over there. So on Friday evening last weekend, I got the hit. I had my epicure party, so my epicure had come in, and I had deliveries. So I was like, okay, great, here I go. I'm going off on a delivery. So I go do my things, and then I end up at this girlfriend's house, and I walk in the door, and she had also just recently had a second grandbaby. And so I had a gift for them. So I'm like, here you go. Here's a baby gift for your daughter and her hubby. And here, I got you this fig tree because it's, for you and for, your mom passing away. And this also happened to be her birthday too. So it was kind of nice. So give her a birthday hug. And she's like, "Well, do you want to come in for a bit?" I was like, okay. So we're sitting there. We're probably talking for at least a half an hour. And she looks at me and she goes, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure, what?" She goes, what made you pick a fig tree?" And I was like, "I know. I don't know. It was light." So I told her the whole journey about how I got to that point and how I bought it. And she goes, "Well, this is going to give you goosebumps, but my mom could plant fig trees so easily, and she had a huge fig tree out her window." Like, holy crap, guys. Her mom lived in Switzerland. Her mom died in Switzerland. Her mom was 92 years old. I never met the lady. I've never gone to Switzerland. I didn't know that fig trees can live all year round in Switzerland, in Europe like that, and that her mom had one out her window. And I was like, I got brought to tears. I got goosebumps. I was like stunned. I was at a loss for words. And it was so incredibly, like, just, I know they say coincidental, but it's incidences coinciding. Like that, because I was willing to listen to the whispers of the universe, thinking I'm going to buy a fruit tree, well, the kind of fruit tree I expected to buy. And then I go there and that wasn't what I wanted. The universe was like, that's okay, honey. This is just how we got you here. And I really do. I know that her mom had a handle in that. Her mom and the universe totally had my back to bring this to her daughter. And oh my God, like how beautiful. Like how beautiful. I would have never on my own thought of a fig tree. Like if I would have, like I was going for more like your prune, plum, apple, kind of tree. And when I went there and that wasn't light, I was like, well, what am I going to do now? So I go into the greenhouse and the lady's like, hey, what about a fig tree? And again, I wouldn't have bought something for someone that's going to create more work for them. Like, how crazy would that be? Well, obviously not that crazy because I did it. And so it was really neat because her and I got to have this beautiful moment. And I was so aware that the purchase of the fig tree in that moment and bringing it to her created so much greater than any other kind of fruit tree that I would have brought. And I could have easily have bought her one of those willow tree ornaments. I could have bought her some chocolates. I could have bought, and yeah. So, oh gosh. And this is when I'm just so incredibly grateful that for me, choosing these meditations. That for me, I'm choosing to allow myself to trust these crazy whispers of the universe that have no proof to them at all. And yet they create these beautiful, magical, like just wonderful experiences that just give life like so much flavor. Oh my God. It was so incredible. It was so beautiful. It has lit me up like every day since then. When I think about it, I just get a big smile. I'll maybe get some goosebumps. Maybe I'll still get the odd tear, like my eyes will tear up. And I'm just like, thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you for like using me that way. And for me being willing to listen and to trust and to not, I mean, I can still I still see myself like bringing the fig tree into her house. Here you go. I bought you a fig tree. Like, no big deal. Let's go in. We'll have a visit. We have a visit. And she's like, drops this bombshell on me. Like, guess what? Ah, yeah. And it's funny because how I've talked in past shows that I have my energetic priorities, so my energies for the year. And even though I do kind of shift my energies around a little bit, like I may change them, I may upgrade them, I realized afterwards that one of the energies that I've been asking for more of in my life is trust. And playful and inspired. And and I would definitely put that in the category of wealthy too. Like it just makes my life so much wealthier and in a way different than money, in a way of wealthy of experience. It inspired me to trust more. It's inspired me to trust more. Like I'm inspired by it and I trust more. I'm so incredibly grateful. Yeah. How's it get any better? It's so beautiful. I want to thank you guys for listening and have yourself an amazing day. And I look forward to connecting with you tomorrow. I wonder what deck of cards wants to be pulled out and what card or cards wants to be shared. We'll find out. All right. You guys take care. You want to reach out to me, thewealthylala@gmail.com. And big hugs to you. Have a